super rock and roll and cool in person. Oh.
Yes, I just did it all myself.
You are not like the others, ma'am. All right, well, we are I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much for taking the time to do the show. Yeah, we love you. But we're celebrating International Day of the Girl. So what are some like women that inspired you? Go ahead, okay.
And it's, you know, it's really great to see the guys clapping for International Day of the Girl because, you know, like it helps everybody celebrating women.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same thing on Father's Day, Mother's Day, just lifting everyone up. I agree with that too. Do you have kind of any woman in particular?
I grew up in a really female household, so with my grandmother and my mother, and they're really strong figures. But I suppose I just wanted to be Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
You know, and
we all?
Yes, exactly, still. I grew up in the exercise phase of her career. She's like a cat. She's had so many different lives. You know,
I did those videos all the time. My mom, all those things.
I know, me too, me too. It was like, you know. Anyway, but and then watching 9 to 5 and China Syndrome, Clute, like, I mean, her acting career and then her career as an activist.
Yeah.
So, and somehow she's made it all come together. She's a really complex and generous human being.
Very intelligent, but very witty at the same time. Like, I really dig her.
And self-deprecating as well.
Yes, which is hilarious. Yeah. Well, you're obviously a fashion icon. You walked out.
Hello.
And I was like, girl, this is not me. But everybody loves you. It doesn't matter, male, female, everybody thinks you always look so cool and you pull it off in such a cool way. And it's one of those things, like, okay, whatever. But it's one of those things that I don't know, I never really got really into, but I love watching it. I love like seeing, because it's such a really creative form of art, right? To express yourself in that way. What got you into fashion?
I used to dress up with my sister. And so
the costumes.
I had sort of this drama teacher who I think was a terrible alcoholic. And so we were just let loose in this warehouse with like 10 boxes full of clothes to literally play dress-ups while she drank and smoked in the corner. And then my mother would pick me up at 3 o'clock and I thought, I want to act.
Yeah.
You know, like but it was always dress up. But I think, you know, there's become in the time that I've been doing it, the pressure on women, and I think also now men, you know, on the red carpet is to somehow be perfect. And what I love, and you know, that there's so many amazing people working in the fashion industry, but also a lot of people who are alive to the fact that we just can't keep buying stuff over and over again. So it's been a joy for me to rewear things and repurpose them and not always have to go for the new.
Yeah.
You know? It's not realistic.
I feel ridiculous, like especially on this show too, where you wear so many outfits and it's like, well, God, can I wear it again? I have a whole slew of like a pile that I'm getting re-altered to like rework so I can wear again.
Totally, just change your underwear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the basic thing.
And
that's
sometimes no, I'm just kidding. You should change your underwear. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was gonna make a joke, but I don't want you to think it's real. Okay. So your sister, I hear, was kind of someone that pushed you into the acting because I guess y'all used to create
and then it was probably her, and I learnt the piano as a girl, and I loved it. I love, you know, musical instruments. The recorders, probably
oh my God, I just got my kids recorders because they wanted them.
It's not as easy as it looks.
No, but it's super fun. I got one for myself as well.
And my 9-year-old's learning. And I used to learn the piano, but I didn't practice as much as I did because I was always making radio shows or kind of, I would knock door to door and pretend that I'd lost my dog and play different characters. And so my piano teacher said that I should stop and start to act. Maybe what she was really trying to say is I had no musical ability. Maybe that was the the subtext. But
No, well, she was right. I'm really glad you probably played the piano
ability. No. Probably she was. But you do.
She was right. No, I'm saying she's right. You went in the right direction. You're incredible. That is not what I meant. No, I meant you're incredible at what you do. But no, I played piano too, and I was not great at it because I honestly wanted to sing. I wanted to do that part.
Yeah.
And it was always like, when are we gonna? This is great. But
apart from the piano and the recorder, what other instruments do you play?
No.
Violin?
Play and played are very different words.
But you could probably pick them up. Like when I had to pick up piano for a role I played not long ago, I played a conductor. And,
totally.
And that was a joy.
Oh my
an
gosh.
absolute joy picking it up again. Because every time I was pregnant, I thought, okay, well, now I'm going to finish my university degree. There's all these things you think you're going to get done when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And one of them was to learn the piano again, and one was to have singing lessons, and I didn't do either of them. So then it's terribly sad, but I often don't do something until I have to for a role.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool though that you get to for a role, and then usually you'll find these amazing teachers that excel at what they do, or you find people that's an incredible
that
gift
was
as
amazing.
well. Well, that was just the start of our conversation. We need to do a few commercials, y'all, but let's hear from Katie and Annie, who are here to talk about an important program that helps young girls.
Hi, I'm a coach for figure skating in Harlem. For 27 years, our organization has built confidence and academic success for girls of color through figure skating and mentorship.
Hi, I'm in the 5th grade and I love ice skating. It's so much fun. It helped me become the person I am. Stay here more with Kelly on this International Day of the Girl after this.
Welcome back. Before the break, we saw the start of my interview with Cate Blanchett. We talked about the people who inspire her on this International Day of the Girl and what drew her to acting. She is also a huge animal lover, so check this out. You live in London now, so I heard that you have quite a few animals. Is this true?
Animals? I have 4 children. Is that what you mean? They're animals.
They can?
No,
They can.
we do. We live in the country, and I've been married for quite a long time, and we've always said that we want to get chickens.
Yeah.
My husband, I fell in love with my husband over a poem he wrote about cows. He called them. You know how cows sort of tend to walk like this. They sort of. Well, I mean, I like cows.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he called them high-heeled philosophers, and I went, oh, I love you. So, we have a few cows, and we have 2 chameleons. One's called Lydia after. Kids always name the animals after roles I've played.
After your roles? Oh, that's
yeah, and we have 4 dogs now.
Yeah, I love dogs.
Yeah, but my daughter, she heard I was coming here. And she wants not only a Highland cow, she wants, they're so beautiful, shaggy with these big horns, but a miniature Highland cow. And she's a real animal lover. And so I looked and we'll go to Scotland. It's better than getting a Nintendo DS. You get your child a Highland cow if you have the space. But they only exist in the States.
So I was like, I know someone with one. I don't know if he still has it, but Blake Shelton has a miniature. He sent me a picture. I don't even know if he still has it. He's wild.
Could I adopt it?
I don't think he'll give it away. But maybe he knows where to get. He is the guy to go to in the States for random like that. Yeah. He sent me like a picture, and I was like, you have a miniature cow? And I didn't know they existed.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, on to there's no segue there. So your first acting job, I found this incredible. I didn't know this even existed, but obviously it would. Like when people come to audition, you were the person that would read with them.
Oh,
you were a reader.
Yeah. I was a reader.
A reader.
Well, I didn't work. I went to drama school and in Sydney, in Australia. And I didn't work when I got out. No one really knew what to do with me. But let's face it, I probably didn't know what to do with myself. Yeah. And a casting director took, pity on me, or she found me interesting. And so she would call me in to read opposite people when they auditioned. And it was so fascinating.
Cool.
It was a real education because it taught me that sometimes when you don't get a job, it's not personal. Like I would be there before the actor came in, I would be there after they left. And, they talk about the women in ways that they would not talk about them now. I mean, that was a long time ago. But, I realised that they would go out and they go, oh, but we've cast the other girl and she's got this quality and we've got to balance it out. And so when I went into audition, I just felt so much calmer.
Kind of a relief.
Yeah, because I'd actually been in the room. And, yeah.
And kind of fun, too, because then you get to play, like, all these different people as well while you're reading.
And no one's watching you.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
So you could experiment,
Yeah, that's like a whole different kind of education.
But then I did that when I started acting in front of the camera, because I worked mostly in the theatre. I sort of started, in dog years for an actress, I started quite late. No, when I started out, there was a use-by date on actresses, and that's why it's so amazing to see actresses in their 50s and 60s who you haven't seen for a long time.
We want all those stories.
Yes, of course we do.
Yeah, stories from all different generations. Yeah.
Like
when
I was in a Todd Haynes film probably 15 years ago now, called Carol, and it was a beautiful film.
I think we've heard of it.
Yeah. And it was about It was, you know, from a Patricia Highsmith novel, one of the first novels ever written where two women fell in love. I mean, the term lesbianism, it wasn't even kind of important enough to prosecute against. It wasn't even legal, because that's just what girls do, you know, like when they're good friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, but at the time we made that film, and it was only 15 years ago, that was a really risky thing that no one wanted to fund. We couldn't get the money to make it, and we thought no one's going to see it. And it's probably become a film that I've been in that people have seen the most and loved the most. And so the landscape has changed. There's still so much to do. But in terms of the types of people and types of relationships that we've seen represented on screen, it really, I have to remind myself that it has moved in that 15 years.
And I think it's important too to say this, like, I agree with you, but like even how you said, oh, I love that the men are clapping for the women on, you know, Day of the Girl. I think that I'm not a lesbian. That doesn't mean I don't want to watch a movie about lesbians. You know what I'm saying? I think that I want my children, I want myself to be, I want to see everything. I want to see all different sides of life and culture and how, you know what I'm saying? Like in ways that you live and how people are. Like, why would I just want to see the same thing about me all the time, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you have to be necessarily a lesbian to enjoy Carol. Like,
no, exactly.
I think that it's great for representation, but it's also great for everyone to see that. Like, I think that is important as well.
I think that's...
It's a love story.
Yeah, it is a love story.
Before the break, you saw the start of my interview with Cate Blanchett, but there's plenty more. She's been busy on the work front as well, and I wanted to talk about all of that. So starting with her new film in theaters October 18th called Rumours.
Well, Rumours is, it's a Guy Maddin film. He's a cult Canadian director who I've always wanted to work with, and he's working with two compatriots, the Johnson brothers, and they've written this bizarre, crazy fever dream crossed with an episode of Scooby-Doo about the G7. You know, the world leaders of the Western world who gather every, couple of years in a different location and have all these strange, awkward cultural experiences and get together to solve the crises of the world. And then it's sort of a political satire, but it's also like a strange sort of zombie bog monster movie, and slightly apocalyptic. So it feels like a documentary at the moment, you know.
I know. I was going to say, isn't it depressing when you watch something that's supposed to be like a satire and you're like, this feels vaguely like reality.
But it was really fun. It was really, really fun to make.
That's
and they're so subversive and strange and weird, and the cast was fantastic. So
that's fun. Yeah. Okay, so you've also got a series called Disclaimer, which I started. It's not a mystery, but it kind of is, because I'm like, what happened? Why is she so scared of this?
Yeah, I mean, it has a thriller component.
Well, tell everybody the kind of synopsis of it.
Well, thanks for asking,
I'll spoil it. Yeah.
No, it's well, my character is you're set up at the beginning as a kind of a. She's a documentary journalist whose standards and impeccable credentials have earned her sort of journalistic awards. She's exposed hypocrisies and abuses of power in systems and in people. And so she's so revered and respected, in a great marriage, a problematic relationship with her son, and right at the beginning of that first chapter, the first episode, a book arrives. And it has a disclaimer at the beginning. It's a pulpy novel called Perfect Stranger, and she opens it up. Then why has this been sent to me? And the disclaimer says, any resemblance to persons living or dead is intentional. You know how it normally goes the other way?
Yes.
She goes, hang on a minute. And she starts to read it. And then it's like a grenade has been thrown at her. She brings up all of this stuff that she has forgotten about this thing that happened to her in the past that she has buried and never told anyone about. And then it gets sent to her husband and to her son and to her workmate, and her life just falls apart.
Woo!
And that's at the end of episode 1.